YouTube for today's exclusive master session and essential, writing and speaking advice. Whether you are preparing for IELTS, PT, or guys, you're just aiming to sharpen your communication skills. This session is basically designed to give you, practical strategies that can truly transform your performance. So just wait for a few more minutes, and then we're going to start the session. All right, guys. So today we'll be covering some key points like do's and don'ts that every learner must know to enhance fluency speaking and maintain clarity and coherence in writing. So if you ever feel stuck in mid sentence while speaking, or struggle to you guys you struggle to connect your ideas while writing, so you guys stay tuned with us, because this next 40 or 45 minutes will be very effective for you. And guys, today you're going to learn some basics and importance of today's session, like how you can speak with natural flow and confidence. And you will also learn how to avoid common mistakes that break fluency. And you will also get an idea about how to write and construct the essays and the tasks that are logically structured and examiner friendly. So guys, get ready with your notepads, because what we share today is just not a theory, it's a real actionable advice, and that will going to really help you out with the session. So I'm sharing you the screen, okay? And we're going to start the session now. And let me know, guys, have if you have any questions. All the questions are welcome, and we discuss one by one, okay? All right, so let me know if the screen is visible to you guys. Okay, so today's topic is very essential. It's about the mastering writing and speaking skills. All right, so guys, we are going to discuss about IELTS academic writing and journal writing. So if we talk about IELTS academic writing, there there are two tasks, which is of 60 minutes. Task one is report writing, and it's minimum 150 words. 20 minutes is recommended. And if we talk about task two, it's a essay writing, minimum 250 words, 40 minutes. If we talk about general writing, similar thing will be happen, like two tasks are there, task one and two. Again, 60 minutes. Task one, letter writing, minimum 150 words, and 20 minutes is recommended. For task two, it's essay writing, as same to academic, 250 words and 40 minutes is recommended. Okay, now if we talk about the report writing, we have to uh, take care of graphs. Like there are different kinds of graphs are there: bar, chart, table, map, diagrams, and the line as well. And if we talk about the letter writing, yes, formal, semi-formal, and informal. Okay. And essay writing, again, it's common for both GT and academic. These are general topics like opinion based, agree, disagree. Right. We already discussed the few things in the previous sessions as well. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about the speaking, guys. Let's talk about the format and the structure. So if we talk about part one, it's introduction and interview. Basically, what happened in this part one, examiner asks general questions about yourself, such as your home, family, work, studies, and interests. So this would took 4 to 5 minutes. Each question needs to be answered basically in 2 to 3 lines. Okay. And part two, guys, it's a long turn. It's a cue card. So you receive a task with a topic and 1 minute for the preparation. Examiner give you 1 minute. You have to make a notes and then you need to speak up to 2 minutes on the given topic. Yes, here's a catch in cue card. You have to just make sure whenever you're going to start with the cue card, you don't have to stop until unless the examiner going to stop you. Okay. Now let's discuss about the part three discussion. The examiner asks further questions related to the topic in part two, exploring more abstract ideas and issues. So it's a continuation of part two, but it will be a discussion. Okay. So guys, this is about the speaking format and structure. Now let's talk about the nature of skills tested. So we have speaking and writing. If you talk about speaking, it will test your ability to communicate verbally in English, focusing on fluency, coherence, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Yes, guys, it's been, seen numerous times, several times. Students, they generally give answer in 1 or 2 words, or sometimes they create a story. So we don't have to do that. All right, we just simply needs to answer the question, and these things is required in the speaking section. Okay. All right. Now let's discuss about the writing task, guys. You need to in the writing task, uh, what is required. You need to test your ability to communicate in written English, focusing on task response, coherence, vocabulary, and grammar. Okay, guys, writing section is something very crucial. Why? Because we are not used to grammar, we are not used to vocabulary. If we talk about the people who are preparing for the IELTS, okay, because generally the students or the people who are preparing for IELTS writing, they're not in the habit or in that dilemma, so they can perform very well in terms of coherence, vocabulary, and grammar. So we have to work on it because on daily basis there's a new grammar, new vocabulary. So yeah, it is quite challenging, but yes, if you get a proper guidance, then yes, we can deal with the situation. Okay. So speaking and writing are the major factors, and we discuss about the skill tested. Okay, now the language in speaking is more informal, casual tone. It doesn't require planning. Use more slang. Okay. We don't have to follow this, guys. Okay. You don't have to be, informal. Number one. Number two, no casual tone. Okay. You have to be a little bit professional. Okay. It doesn't require planning means if there's any question comes out, it doesn't don't give that idea to the examiner that you're planning the answer. Okay. And slangs is, guys, something we have to avoid. We don't have to use the slangs. Okay. So this is something very important. And writing, yes, more formal. No use of slang, requires appropriate planning. Okay. In writing, guys, basically what happened, there's a structure. We follow the structure in writing task one and two. Okay. So that is something is required. So yes, so this is something we have to follow in the speaking and writing task. Okay, guys. Okay. Now we talk about the contractions. So before I move forward, just want to know, anyone have any query or question? Just let me know. So I'm happy to answer. If no, then we'll proceed further. Yes, guys. Anyone have any doubt, any query, any concerns? If not, then we'll move forward. Okay, we have someone. Format, sir. Okay. So, Aditya, thank you for the question. So, format for writing task one or task two? Which one you want to know? Format for writing task because writing task one have a different format and task two have both, sir. Okay. All right. Format for writing task one in academic. So introduction, then overview. Okay. Then body one and body two. Okay. So this is for task. Okay. If we talk about writing task two, introduction, which needs to be done in 50 words. Then talk about body one, will be 100 words. Then body two, again 100 words. And if you talk about conclusion, then 30 words. Okay. Because task two is 250 words, it should not be less than 250 words. You can go beyond 250, you can go 260, 270, or 280 words. That's fine, but it should not be. All right, great. You're welcome. All right, so let's proceed. Let's proceed further. Okay, so we're going to discuss about contractions. Okay, we'll talk about the essay writing. So essay writing, guys, is, especially in a academic context, you know, there are some formal tone is required. Like contractions are worded to maintain this formality. Example, formal and informal. If it's formal, then it is important to note that the context should be sounds like academic, and if it's informal, then you have to avoid the formality. Okay, so if we talk about clarity and precision, okay, guys, this is something which I will believe that this is something we have to discuss when you take a demo session, because this is something we have to explain in a brief. Okay, so I need to skip this part because you guys are here for the live session. So it's better to discuss this when you take a demo, because this is a lengthy discussion to discuss about. Okay, all right. So let's talk about some speaking, section. So if we talk about speaking, naturalness and fluency, okay, you have to be, guys, a bit natural, and you have to represent yourself that you're having a good fluency. I'm not saying you should be very good, but yes, fluency should be there. So if there's any word you're pronouncing, you have to make sure the voice should be clear. Okay. In spoken language, contractions are used frequently to sound more natural and fluent. Okay. Yes, fluency and natural tone is required. You have to avoid, contractions in speech can make it sound overly formal and stittled. Okay. So guys, you have to be very natural, right? So let's take example. If it's natural, I'm going to the store. And if you want to be formal, then you can say, I'm going to the store. So different is this, that in the natural way, so there's a comma is there, but in the formal way, then I is separate and am is different. So I am going to the store. So this is just a small example I'm giving you. Okay. And if you talk about the conversational tone, like speaking, it is especially, it should be in a conversational context. Mean to say, it should be two-way communication. Okay, it doesn't look like that examiner is taking your interview and you are giving the answers. Guys, we don't have to give the answers. It should be two-way communication. Okay, we should have eye contact with the examiner. Okay, you have to be more relaxed. Okay, and what happened when there's a speaking test is there, people shiver, they shiver a lot. So you have to avoid these things. These are very, basic things which we, inform students before applying for the IELTS exam. And this, we train students in our IELTS preparation and IELTS coaching. Okay. So this is something very basic ethics, which which I already mentioned here, and I hope you're getting this thing. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can let me know, and I'm happy to answer. Okay. Yes, this is very important, which I like to discuss about. This is connectors and linkers. Okay, so guys, connectors are linkers. This is something used in writing section. Okay, so basically, guys, in IELTS writing, connectors are used to create a formal and a coherent flow of ideas. Okay, there's a variety. There are variety of connectors which helps to demonstrate the range of vocabulary and cohesive devices. Let's take an example of formal connectors. Addition, furthermore, moreover, in addition to, yes, guys, these basically you use in writing task. Okay. Uh, Contrast, however, on the other hand, nevertheless, cause and effect, therefore, consequently, as a result, example, for instance, for example, conclusion, in conclusion, to summarize. Okay, these are very something very important, and we use these connectors basically in writing tasks too. Okay, in both IELTS academic and IELTS journal. Okay. All right, now let's talk about the complexity, guys. So writing requires more complex and varied connectors to link ideas. Okay. So if you're using different types of connectors, that can improve the overall coherence and cohesion of the essay. Okay, now let's take example. Despite the challenges, the project was a success due to effective planning. Okay, so here we use a complex writing structure where we put the comma and the full stop as well. Second example we can take, although there are many technology benefits, there are also significant drawbacks. Okay, so we can use these complex and varied connectors to link the ideas. Okay, so this is a very interesting examples of using the connectors. Okay. If we talk about the fluency, the primary goal in speaking is to maintain fluency and coherence both. Overall, complex connectors can disrupt the natural flow of speech. Okay, let's take example. Well, I think that education is important because it provides people with the knowledge and skills they need for the future. Okay, so this is a very basic and easy language to understand for the examiner and give you the bands as required. Okay, so this is something about the IELTS speaking where we can use the connectors. Okay, guys, any question or any concerns, let me know. If not, we'll proceed further. Yes, guys, anyone have any query, any question, please let me know. Yes, guys. So I take it as a no, and let's proceed further then. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to discuss about IELTS writing, which is, time for planning. Okay. So task one, approximately 20 minutes to complete with few minutes dedicated to planning. Okay. So it's task one. If we talk about task one, as you have 20 minutes. Okay. So when you're preparing for the exam, you have to just make sure a few things. When you're going to planning for the writing task one, whether it's a graph, diagram, pie chart, or letter writing, just take 1 or 2 minutes for the planning to generate the ideas and then start with the task. Okay. Same applies for task two. People have confusion in task two as well because they say 250 words, and it's very important to measure whether you are writing task two, it's beyond 250 words or not. So here, as I mentioned earlier, uh, you have to make sure introduction should be 50 words, body 100 words, body 200 words, and conclusion 30 words. It's okay, you can go up to 280 words, 270 words, or 290 words, but don't go very lengthy because there are chances, grammatical errors as well. Okay, and less GRE range. Okay, so this is something we have to make sure about it. Okay, now let's talk about about the structure planning. Okay, so task one, you need to identify the key trends. Then you have to proceed with the comparisons, the data points to include in your response. And then you have to plan the structure like introduction, overview, and the detailed paragraph. Uh, Introduction is something, guys, you have to make sure that uh, your introduction should be very good, and how we can make a very eye-catching and a very perfect introduction. We should know how to paraphrase. So you should know how to paraphrase the question. Introduction is all about the paraphrasing. You should learn how to paraphrase the question, because the very well you paraphrase the question, the chances are high to get the desired answer. Okay. Okay, for a bar chart, you need to describe the highest and the lowest values and any significant changes over time. Okay, now let's talk about the task two. Basically, what happened in task two? You have to brainstorm the ideas and the arguments as well, because what happened in writing task two, either you get agree, disagree, or advantages and disadvantages, sometimes opinion based as well. So what we have to do in this scenario, we have to, generate the ideas, the thought process with examples. Okay. And you have to plan the essay structure very well. Introduction, body paragraphs, and the conclusion. You have to make sure you're following these structures, because examiner will going not only going to check your grammar or vocabulary range, but also go through your structure as well, which is required. Okay. So if we talk about for an essay, the benefits of public transportation, you need to, plan points such as cost effectiveness, environmental impact, and social benefits. So I'm just giving you one example. Okay. So you have to make sure you proceed in this direction. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about the detailed outlining. This is very important, guys. Outlining is very important. You need to note the main points to cover in the overview and specific details for the body paragraphs. Okay, might be you people are aware about the outlining or not, but this is something we train in our classes, that how to outline the main points. And if we talk about a task two, the outlining required to deliver, the thesis statement, which covers the topic sentence for each paragraph, and it also lists the supporting arguments with examples for each point. Okay. Let's take one example. Suppose, guys, you are doing writing task two. Okay. And you have written the introduction. Now you are doing body one and body two. And in both the scenarios, you're giving the examples. So suppose if you've written, for example, in body one, you don't have to repeat, for example, in body two. You can mention, for instance. Okay. So these are some tricks which, we inform students so that they can, easily write the essay part. Okay. And revision and editing, guys, is always been highly recommended. Okay. So you need to have a perfect revision before submitting to the or hand over to the examiner. You need to allocate the time at the end of reviewing and refining your answer, and you need to check, guys, the grammatical errors, the coherence, and clarity. Okay, because what happened, um, doing revision or having revision, it always help a lot of people to to enhance the band score. Okay, so you have to make sure about the revision and editing part as well. Okay, all right, guys. Now let's talk about IELTS speaking. Minimal planning time. Okay, guys. Well, there's no planning time. You need to respond spontaneously and to the personal questions. Okay, you don't have to plan something in front of the examiner. Okay. If it's about the part one. Now, if we talk about the part two, guys, you need 1 minute. You will get 1 minute to prepare, and 1 to 2 minutes you need to talk on the given topic. We mentioned this earlier. And part three, no planning time, guys. Respond to abstract and follow-up question based on the part two. As in, so part three is always a continuation of part two. So what are the topics covered in part two? The same topic will be covered in part three as well. Okay, now quick thinking and organizing, guys. This is something, very essential and very important. You have to be ready to discuss familiar topics without preparation. Focus on clear and concise answers. Okay. So, guys, if there's any topic which is familiar and you think it's not required preparation, so guys, don't get too excited. Okay. Be normal and just give the answers uh, point to point. Okay. You don't have to go out of the box. Just make sure. This is very basic things. I know this is very basic things, but yes, people do mistakes. So that's why, these things are covered here. Okay, now if we talk about the part two, 1 minute for the preparation to jot down the key points and structure your talk, introduction, main points, and conclusion. Part two, guys, is something really, I would say this is something very challenging part because here you will not going to speak stop speaking because it's all about the time duration and examiner until unless the examiner will not stop you, you don't have to stop speaking. Okay, so you need to take care of part two because this is something where students get a lot of challenges in part two. Part three, guys, you need to build on part two's topic with more abstract ideas. You have to think on your feet and provide extended answers with reasons and examples. Okay, guys, if we talk about extended answers, you don't have to expend a much. You have to just stick towards the answers, and you have to make sure that you cover part one, part two, and part three, the complete speaking section in 14 to 15 minutes. Okay. This is what the time is allotted to the examiner. So you have to consume the time as well. Okay. One main thing which I like to bring in your notice, guys, that there are a lot of students, who always score who already not score the desired bands and they come from different places and when we just talk to them now, so what we observe that when there's a cue card is provided, so they're not utilizing the time. They got the question and they start speaking. So guys, you don't have to do that. If the time is given, the time is allotted, then use it. Okay, because 1 minute is for the preparation and that is required. Okay. One more important thing is about the mental outlining, guys. Part one, you have to mentally, outline brief response to each question. And in part two, you need to quickly organize your thoughts and plan the flow of your talk. And in the part three, you need to think of logical connections and expressions as you respond to the examiner's questions. Okay, guys, these are something, might be new for you, but yes, these things we have to take care about it. And this is something we have to develop. These skills is required to develop. Okay, and how it's done? It's done in our classes. We help you to, prepare accordingly so that you can easily and confidently give the IELTS exam. Okay. We discussed about the natural and spontaneous delivery. Okay. Now, a very important section, it's vocabulary. Yes, vocab. So vocab, if we talk about IELTS writing, guys, formality and formality and precision required. It requires a formal and academic tone because vocabulary should be, guys, it's quite sophisticated because showcasing a range of advanced words and phrases can sometimes, guys, give you, hard time. So let's take an example about how we can, use these things. So in formal tone, if we talk about, you have to be significant, okay, and on the contrary basis, you don't have to, guys, you have to be a bit formal. We don't have to be informal. Okay. And if you talk about task one, the data illustrates a significant increase in sales over the last decade. So these kind of, things are required in task one because task one is something you have to analyze the data. You don't have to, do something out of the box. Diagram is there, graph is there. You have to visualize and analyze it and write it accordingly. Okay. And if we talk about the task two, yes, this is something, you have to work on the thought process. Okay. Now, let's talk about academic vocabulary, guys. You have to use some specific terminology related to data description, like peak, decline, trend. So, guys, we have, a list for this one. Okay. So we always prefer to follow the list of this academic vocabulary, which really, gives a boost up in the writing task. Okay. All right. Uh, Complex lexical structures. Okay, so you have to use complex sentence structures and a wide range of vocabulary to demonstrate linguistic proficiency. Okay, if we talk about linguistic proficiency, it is required in IELTS and it is required from day one. Well, from long time, this linguistic proficiency is required, guys. Let's take example. Uh, Although there has been a substantial rise in urbanization, the result environmental degradation cannot be overlooked. So substantial, this is the vocabulary. Okay, huge, large. Okay. So these kind of things is required in order to write a perfect essay or perfect writing task. And you have to, guys, avoid repetition. Repetition is something you have to avoid it. You have to use synonyms and varied expressions to avoid, you know, you can demonstrate a broad vocabulary. So how to develop a broad vocabulary, how to get familiar. So we have a list of the vocabulary which is only used in IELTS, like IELTS exam, because vocab is something, there are more than 5,000, 10,000 vocabulary, and it's not possible to learn all the vocabulary and apply in the IELTS. Okay, so you have to use some vocabulary which is only required in IELTS, and instead of repeating, guys, you can use some vocabs. Let's take an example. So we have important word. So the vocab of important is crucial, vital, essential. Okay. So you can use these words. You can use the vocabs. You can use the synonyms. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Let's move on to the next. We'll talk about structure sentence, guys. Okay. You have, if you talk about the structure sentence, guys, formality and complexity. So you have to use more formal and complex sentence structures to convey ideas clearly and show linguistic proficiency. Okay, guys, if you talk about ideas clearly, it's all about the thought process. Okay, if you guys really use a good thought process, whenever you go for the IELTS exam, whether it's a writing task or speaking task, just scan the question, okay, and try to connect with your real-time scenario, like connect with your real-time experience. So if you use in that way now, I'm sure and I'm positive that guys, you will able to crack the IELTS in a one go. Okay, because what happened, when the people approach the exam center, two things happen. One, they got nervous. कि पता नहीं exam में क्या आएगा, what we can, what kind of question we'll get. So there are two type of candidates when they appear for the exam. One who are fully prepared and they're confident, and second, people who are super overconfident. Okay, so you have to be relaxed, go to the exam, visit the exam center, read the question thoroughly, and try to paraphrase the answers. Try to do the answers. Okay. All right. So if we talk about the complex sentence and compound sentence, guys, I would say instead of talking about the complex sentence and compound sentence, okay, there are more important thing and related to the complex sentence and the compound sentence, that the wide of range of sentence types. Okay, either you can use simple, compound, complex, which is employed to demonstrate a command of English grammar. Okay, it means, guys, that you have to range a sentence type which cover all the things which is required in IELTS, like vocabulary, grammar range accuracy, and cohesion, and most important, the structure of writing task. Okay. All right. We have to be very, we have a, simple clarity about the sentence are crafted carefully to ensure, clarity and avoiding ambiguity. Okay, it means, guys, the sentence which you are going to, sorry, the essay which you are going to uh, construct, it should be like the essay is having a full clarity about it. Okay, because if the writing task is not done, with these things like vocab, cohesion, then guys, would say that there will be a challenge for the people who, not following the major things or the basic things of IELTS writing task, whether it's writing task one or task two. Okay. All right. All right. We discuss about the passive voice and formal structures. So guys, you have to be more frequent, and you need to use your passive voice to create a formal tone and focus on actions rather than subject. Okay, guys, formal tone, formal tone, formal tone. We have discussed about the formal tone, so you have to be very formally. Okay, the essay should be formal. Topic can be anything, can be challenging. It can be anything related to AI or politics or anything, right? So you have to be very formal, and it doesn't look like that you are biased. We don't have to show the biasness, because I have seen there are a lot of essays been crafted in a way that it indicates the person who write the essay it going out of the box. Okay, so we have to make sure about these things. Okay, the length and the complexity of the writing task. So longer sentences are very common. Okay. So instead of longer sentence, you should have to take care that these sentences, the essays will be, in detailed, with detailed information. Information should be there. There should be no information missing, because I know it's a limited time is there. We have, a tightened deadline, and the word limit is there. So yes, but detailed essay is something, it's always been a good piece of help. So these things are required, guys, basically. Okay. All right. If we talk about IELTS speaking, again, guys, naturalness and simplicity, we have to be on a natural tone. Okay. You have to be your communications, you have to ensure you have a clear communication. So guys, you have to, when you're going to represent yourself in front of the examiner, so your body language, means a lot. Body language plus clear communication. I would like to add here that body language is also required, guys. Okay, and you have to be very formal. Okay, no fake accent. Okay, very. You have to be very normal, and yes, guys. Sentences are generally shorter sometimes, but we have to make sure we are in a natural speed. The natural speech and vocabs are always required in IELTS speaking and writing both. Okay. All right. So these are some basic things: spontaneity, okay, flexibility and adaptability. We already discussed about it. Active voice and direct structures. We discussed about it, guys. Okay. All right. So here we have one example of a perfect writing piece of example of IELTS writing task 2. You can see here's a question. Some people say that the best way to change someone's behavior is to set a good example. To what extent do you agree? Okay, this is opinion based. All right, guys. So if you have these kind of questions, you agree or disagree, or sometimes to what extent do you agree? So these types of questions are opinion based. So here we have introduction. Okay. Sorry. Let's go back. Here we have introduction, 50 words. You need to paraphrase. You should learn how to paraphrase from the question. Then body one. And you can see here we have used the vocab as well. Furthermore. Okay. And it's at the bottom. We will be able to find the conclusion. Okay. So this is what the structure we are having of writing task 2. Okay. So these are something, this is something we have to follow in the writing task 2, whether it's IELTS academic or journal. Okay. Right, guys. Now let's move forward. Speaking answer. I agree to a large extent that setting a good example is one of the most effective ways to change someone's behavior. When people see someone they respect to or admire consistently demonstrating positive behaviors, they are more likely to emulate those actions themselves. Okay. Again, guys, you can see here we have used vocab. However, it's important to note that leading by example alone may not be enough. Okay. Additional strategies. So, guys, this is the answer. This is example of IELTS speaking part 2, which is a cue card. So you have to make sure that vocabulary is plays a very crucial role in the IELTS segment, whether you're going with the IELTS writing or IELTS speaking. Okay. All right. Yes, guys. So any query, any question, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. And anyone guys having exam in coming few weeks or days, let us know. Yes, guys. Anyone having any query or any concerns or any question? As I can see, we have a lot of people are here. Hi, Ashmat. Hi, Swati. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Azra. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. So, okay, we got a message from Hashmat Eliza. Okay. Yes, guys. Any doubt, any query, any concerns? This topic is quite interesting. Okay, and we already discussed in the similar topics before as well. But yes, these topics are in highly demand from the students or from the IELTS aspirants. Yes, guys. Anyone, any query, any question, any concerns? All right. So, guys, do I take it as a no? No question, no doubt.
We can call it a day now.
Sorry, was there?
It was me. I think we can call it a day because they don't really have any queries.
Okay, fine, no worries. So let's catch up tomorrow, guys. Not tomorrow, sorry. Let's catch up on Friday. And we're going to have a very important topic on Friday discussion. It's about the overview of IELTS, where we'll give a complete breakdown of all the 4 models to help you to understand the test format and the marking criteria. All right, guys. So yeah, thank you so much. Let's connect on Friday, and wish you everyone happy Dussehra. Let's connect on Friday, guys. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye, everyone. Happy Dashera.